This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Joe Longo.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. Are you in need of a pelvic floor therapist? Well, one might be closer than you think. And today I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Michelle Maio, with us today. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. How you doing?
Hi, Joe. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm enjoying the sunny day that we have today. I'm not going to lie. I wish it was
Yes.
a little bit warmer, but it's okay. It's all right. So, Michelle, you are a pelvic floor therapist. Could you tell us about your business and what it is that you do?
Sure. So I primarily work with women who are pregnant or in that postpartum phase, although pelvic therapists are for everybody. We all have pelvic floors. We all have a pelvis, which has all these muscles on the bottom that really affect a lot of our lives. Our bodies, every part of our body works together. It's a whole system. Your pelvic floor works well until it doesn't, and it's easy to take that for granted. But when you do start having issues, whether you're a man or a woman, you see that it does have an impact on your life. So whether it's pain, difficulty with urinating, or constipation, it's going to impact you, and a pelvic floor therapist can help you with that. So what I primarily do is, like I said, work with women in that perinatal phase. So this can be preventatively, where a woman's body goes through a lot of changes during this time and getting ready for childbirth. So just proactively helping the body stay in a good state. Or it can be to alleviate problematic symptoms such as leaking urine or pelvic pain. And then in addition to those traditional therapy services, I do also offer workshops, and those are to provide just more of a general pelvic health education and exercises that someone can do.
That's wonderful. How did you get into this line of work, into this business?
I actually started my career as a pediatric occupational therapist, and just through my own interest in health and wellness throughout the years, I realized how undereducated women are about their bodies. And I was questioning how different could so many lives be if we were just provided with a better understanding of how our bodies work, and if these conversations were more mainstream, because we do have so much control over our health, and we don't always know that. So I knew I wanted to be a part of this changing, and I started taking the courses I had to get into pelvic health. Then shortly after this time, my husband was offered a job here in the Poconos. So I thought, great, like this is the perfect time for me to pivot into this new field. I'm going to get into pelvic health. And then I realized there were no opportunities here for me to do that. And if I was going to do it, it was going to be on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my business slowly, because also around this time I got pregnant with my first daughter. So a big focus on my life was on that. But on the side, I was offering in-home therapy services to women and continuing my education in pelvic health. Then I had the opportunity to meet Taylor Liggins, who is a psychotherapist in the area, who was looking to start a perinatal collective. And I knew how needed that was in this area, and I wanted to be a part of that. So now I'm working with her at Everlight Collective and primarily providing services there.
Oh, that's wonderful. And a beautiful journey, I'll say, in a shift, and then seeing that there is a need for it, as opposed to, I don't know if you came maybe from a bigger city or a bigger area where there was more awareness of this. And I find it fascinating, about how us as beautiful humans don't know our human form. And we need people like you to help us connect back to it. So I see that. And for all of the ladies out there, and even the men, this might be something to explore if you are experiencing some of these things that Michelle has talked about. And in this line of work, is there any like misconceptions that you may have run into along the way about this?
The biggest misconception I've seen is people getting the advice to just do your Kegels or look up pelvic therapy exercises on YouTube, because our bodies are much more complex than just one standard exercise that's going to work for everyone. Your pelvic health can be influenced by so many things: the way your nervous system is regulated, the way you breathe, pressure management throughout your core, weakness or imbalances of other muscles that attach to your pelvis, like your glutes, or the way you load through your foot. So there's just so many different things that impact each other in the body. And then you can also have symptoms like such as leaking urine that can be caused to both weak muscles and tight pelvic floor muscles. So if you don't know what the root cause is, you're not necessarily able to solve the problem. And by completing these exercises on your own, it might help if it does work with what that problem is, but it very likely is not going to do anything for you. And you could even potentially make things worse. So it really is best to be evaluated by a therapist who can help you come up with a plan that's going to work for your body.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about having your own podcast and talking about this stuff?
No, I haven't. You never know, because a lot of things have just kind of come my way, and you never know. I never thought I was going to own my own business either, and here I am. So
right.
it's
So we all
possible.
know that right, exactly. That marketing is a huge part of business. What are you doing? How are you? Well, first, who are your target customers, and how are you attracting them and connecting with them?
I'm really looking for women within that 20 to 45 age range who are looking to get pregnant, are pregnant, or in that postpartum phase, which postpartum doesn't even mean, that 6 weeks or 6 months after. It could be for a couple of years. And really, if you develop symptoms in that postpartum phase and you're still having them years later, pelvic therapy can still help alleviate them. It doesn't mean you have to live that way. So at this time, I'm mostly using Instagram, trying to advertise the workshops I do. I think that's also a great way just to spread education, which is very important to me, more so than providing individual therapy, just giving people the information they need to be proactive in their pelvic health. So really trying to spread awareness through that.
Mm-hmm. And outside of work, what are you doing for fun now that you're here in Northeast PA?
Well, I'm pretty busy with 2 young daughters. They're 2 and 4. So that's a lot of what I'm doing, but we love to be outside. So this is really a great area for that. We love to go hiking when we can, and anything outside.
That's great. Michelle, if you can, could you please tell our listeners one thing that they should remember about you and your work?
One thing is that you're in control of your body and your life. There is so much you can do. Don't accept that, well, I had a baby, I'm going to leak when I sneeze, or I have this back pain now that I have kids and it's just the way it is. You can change things. And I'm here to help you with whatever you need. I love to work with everybody on just an individual basis, what your body is, what you need, what works for you. And together we can figure out what can help you make those changes.
Mm-hmm. And how can everybody find you, connect with you, work with you?
So I am primarily on Instagram at michellemayo.ot, and my website is michellemayo.com. That also has more information on the services I offer. I also encourage listeners to look into the Everlight Collective, because in addition to my services there are some other wonderful things like psychotherapy, lactation support, parent coaching, Mommy Me fitness classes. So just really wonderful supports for any woman who is in that pregnancy or postpartum phase here in the Poconos.
Michelle, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on the show. From myself and everybody at the Good Neighbor podcast, we wish you all of the luck and success moving forward.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpnepa.com. That's gnpnepa.com. Or call 570-908-4334.